Whoops. Thank you. Let's get the recording going on. I appreciate that. So Adish and Santoshi do send their apologies that they are unwell today and are not able to join with us. And so they've asked me just to kind of jump in real quick and share a quick message, and then I'm going to turn it over to Natalie and Andy. But I did want to take just a minute and share just some quick thoughts. Okay, first I wanted to share a little bit about an update real quick on our incentive trip this past week. So this past week we had a group of about 50 of us, all went up to Port Douglas in Queensland, and just a phenomenal experience. And I would encourage all of you on this call, if you have an opportunity, if you feel so inclined, qualify for next year's incentive trip. Okay, this year's was awesome. Next year's will be even better. I promise you. It was an amazing experience. We got to go snorkeling out on the reef. We had bushwalk through Mossman Gorge with Aboriginal elders who were able to explain to us and kind of share with us a lot of the history and a lot of the bushcraft from that area. One of the great things we got to do is we actually got to go and spend time at an animal refuge center as well to provide service to this animal refuge center. And granted, spent a very hot morning shoveling mulch. Okay, I keep wanting to say manure, but no, not manure. It was keep shoveling mulch for this animal refuge site. It was actually a wonderful experience. Everybody was really excited about this opportunity to go and provide a little bit of service to a really amazing institution, a really amazing place, because they do so much to help with animal recovery in northern Queensland. So yeah, we got to provide service. One of the best things though that happened was on the last day, we had a Healing Hands service project that we all were able to jump on and really get around, where we put together little packs that were then sent to a local school in Mossman. And this particular school that it was sent to was an underprivileged school. And so they were in desperate need of help and services. And we provided them diffusers, we provided them oils, we provided basically these little packs that we gave to all of the children to be able to give to their mothers for Mother's Day. Okay, so they're going to hold on to these kits until Mother's Day, and then these children will be able to take and present these gifts to their parents for Mother's Day. It was really exciting. It was really actually a very touching experience, because we were able to share notes and such with the children, and it was just really a touching experience then to have Caro Bruce, our director over our Healing Hands initiatives, take all of these, present them to the school, and see just how excited everybody at the school was, and all the children were. When she showed up there with these boxes and boxes of these kits that we put together for them. When we were doing that, though, on top of it, Adish and Santoshi made an offer to everybody, basically saying that if we would contribute to the flood relief efforts in Queensland and in northern New South Wales, that they would match the donations that were being provided up to $5,000. And so everybody got together then, pitched in, and we ended up donating over $10,000 to Good 360 as part of the flood relief efforts. I'm really excited to share that with you, and excited to share, how much Adish and Santoshi both really contributed, because they just went out of their way to kind of galvanize people around this effort, around this donation, and then willing to come out and match it as well themselves, so that we can make such a significant donation to the flood relief efforts. And for those of you who know and are affected, we were talking about the floods here just at the beginning of this call. They were absolutely devastating, absolutely horrendous and devastating. So any donations are good. And if you want to donate today, feel free to jump on to good360.org, just the website for good360.org. I think it's .org.au or .org. Anyways, you can find it, and feel free to make a donation if you'd like. But I just wanted to share that with you. It was truly a touching experience to be there with them, to be able to make a donation and be able to provide that over to Good 360 to help people who've been so devastated and so affected by these floods. Anyways, that's a little bit about our updates and what we've been doing this past week. We're really excited to share with you kind of what's been going on. We have convention coming up. I really hope that everybody on this call as well is making plans to be part of convention, whether you are actually here in Melbourne with us or whether you join with us online. Either way, get your tickets now, be part of convention. Convention is such an important part of who we are because we share so much great information, and there's so much that we can, so many surprises, new products. There's just all kinds of great things that happen at convention. So I encourage you, if you haven't already bought tickets for convention, jump online, get them now. So again, the first weekend of May is convention. So if you're looking for, times, go and do it. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to just go with that, and I'm going to turn the time over to Natalie and Andy. Thank you very much for joining with us, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. That was so amazing, Will. And we keep hearing about the goodness. It's hard to have hard things happen, but all the goodness that flows from it, it is just gives us hope in humanity and all the good that we can do and how we can stand as leaders in these moments. Like, so amazing to see.
And we're sending so much love to all of you. Gosh, it just feels like, if it's not a fire, it's a flood, and you guys have been through the ringer. So we're sending so much love and thoughts and prayers your way.
Yep. There's been so much good, so many possibilities for doing more good. And I know so many people are watching you and your example as leaders. It makes a difference. And these are the moments that we're meant to stand and shine in. And some days we lay and shine, like Adish and Santoshi today. It's sometimes we just get to surrender and be human, and the oils don't make us untouchable. They just make us stronger and more of who we are, so that we can stand most of the time.
Yeah. We still feel their light.
Yes. Sending so much love and healing to them and all of you. We look forward to this time together. We were just with the Canadian Diamonds the other day and just talking with them. And I just love the feel that comes from coming together and how we can just feel connected and at one with each other and united in such a way that we can glean energy to go forward and move into new and better ways. So tonight, this success hack is some success hacks that we have received just talking with people that are tapping into some really incredible successes right now. So these success hacks tonight, they're borrowed success hacks, right? That we have learned by observing just in the last few weeks what is moving the needle right now. And I know you might feel like we do, which is we got to pay attention all the time because there is a need to recalibrate. So that has been our word for the year is transcend. Transcend all of the yucky, right? Transcend above it and find another way, a better way. Just like doTERRA did when they first began, we are here to find a better way. And recalibrating helps us to do that. And I love how as we see all of the things that are going down in the world, it just gives us clues on where to go with that recalibration and how to connect. So we're going to talk about a few things to dial in that recalibration and what can help us really move into this new phase that we're going through, because it's real. We need we need to recalibrate, and we wanted to start out with just some awareness that we gained the other day, talking with in some meetings at corporate. Downstairs. Dee Dee wants. We have visiting children. Thank you. So maybe I'll let him tell you that part in just a minute. But I can start out with my, I know I talk a lot about clarifying your purpose, but what I have seen in these amazing people that are rocking it right now is they have recalibrated by clarifying their purpose. And this is not something, let's see, it looks like my sharing. Can you find a way to put that?
What are you trying to do?
I was just showing this big, but it's great.
So
It's great.
go back to it.
So one of the things that I have loved in clarifying purpose is page 25 and 26. And I may have already talked about this because I love it so much. But in the last 2 weeks with more people, I am doing this target your message page from the Business Building Guide. And this spread is so powerful. Target your message. What are you seeking to do? Who do you want to serve? What problems do you want to solve? What you do, and getting you down to that final statement. I'm telling you, I have walked people that have been stuck for 2 years through this process, and they are finding their way again, right? So first step to recalibration so that we can connect is being connected to our purpose. And that's a process that we don't do it once. It's time to come back to that. So even Andy and I, we felt like, hey, we've got to go there. There is new places that we need to go. We have to assess where we are right now, purpose-wise. What's coming up for us? What are we loving? What's bringing the energy? And just have that awareness. So that has been number one. And leading out with purpose. A lot of the people that we talked to at, so the US incentive trip, we had a ton of people there. We talked to so many people, and the ones that are getting through to people and getting their message from them to someone else are the ones that are so clear on purpose, right? PJ, how did you feel that as you have dialed into your purpose more and more this past year, how have you felt that it's helping you connect?
I've been reflecting on this very thing just the last few weeks again. And I find that as a business owner / leader, it's important that you do this review to keep your languaging fresh and to keep your message on, track. For instance, anyone can get oils anywhere from anybody, and Amazon included, if they want. They can go these days straight to a replicated site. It looks just like doTERRA in Europe, as you would well know, and it swallows them up in some kind of hoover. There's no personal connection. I think it's amazing that doTERRA has attracted a lot of empathic souls who are naturally shy, It just seems to be the kind of person that attracts. It doesn't want to get out there.
เก่งมาก
Oops.
เก่งมากเก่งมาก
Doesn't want to put their avatar out, but actually that is the thing that is going to make all the difference. And if I reflect back to I wasn't here in the beginning, but I was certainly here, you know, in 2014, where it was still raw. Nobody really knew what essential oils was, and you had to be clear on why is this important to me, so that I can have the language with somebody. You guys know in the last year, Christ came and flipped me upside down and took me out of the New Age realm. So suddenly the New Age doesn't resonate with me anymore, and I can't speak to it like I used to because it's not what I believe. I had to get very clear on, so who am I attracting into my team? And it needs to be people who can understand and like me. So again, had to go deep and understand, okay, what's my offering now? Who am I? How do I show up? My social media now is reflecting outwardly how I feel about Christ and the involvement with the oils. And that's a whole other niche that serves me, serves my people, serves purpose, and that I can help people with as they also transition from one track to another, let's say.
I just love that. And look at how much, you know, it wasn't like what you were doing was wrong before, right? You're just refining that, and you've gone further down in your journey, and now you've dialed in even more, and your enrollments are showing that you're reaching your target market and that target audience. It's matching up.
I can say to you unequivocally, and this also happened in the beginning, when I was working on purpose, the attraction, the enrollments just pop up. I'm not chasing, I'm not pushing, not using any masculine force into this because it doesn't feel true for me, but I am thoughtfully, consciously, mindfully, purposefully lowering barriers to get to me. That has been a strategy that I've used. I notice it's very hard to find me. It's hard to enroll. How do I get the oil? So my job is to lower those barriers for others. And if I'm doing that, God just goes, oh, look, here's a few.
Yeah. That's beautiful. What are some of the ways that you feel like you're lowering those barriers? What does that look like for you?
I have to say www.peterjane.com a lot. And that feels really uncomfortable because we're so used to saying www.doterra.com. So that's one of those uncomfortable things. It is doing the reels, which I don't want to do, but the platform that is happily accepting self-promotion and product promotion is only Instagram. Or if you're doing it in forums where it's comfortable to float product, and 99% of Facebook groups don't allow self-promotion or anything of that nature. So you've got to be present on a platform that says that's okay. And the way that the thinking is currently is you can do that on Instagram. So Instagram's the marketplace, and having a go at Reels is very uncomfortable, but it's no more uncomfortable than standing up in front of a room full of 45 people, I reckon.
Right. Yeah. Just a different format, right? I love it. I love it that you are clear on that, and that how, I love hearing how it becomes easy. It is more flow and more flow the more you focus on that purpose. And that's what I heard from people. So remember last month when we talked a little bit about the Hawaiians and what they had done? Do you guys remember that? They were the ones coming in, they were going US founder, from 0 to platinum in 4 months, and sharing 600 samples with people and just doing the work and investing and treating it like a business, hey, I want to build a multi-million-dollar business. I'm treating it that way. And they just had some different ways of thinking. Well, one of the ways that they showed up in this purpose is they got really clear about their purpose. And a lot of that team was drawn to share because they wanted to buy their property right there on the islands where they were born and raised. And they would start out every class with, hey, my purpose is to allow myself and my family to live here and not just let the outside investors come in and buy up the property and me not be able to afford that. And so they brought in that element of purpose into the class, and somehow people got behind that purpose. They wanted to be a part of that.
I thought about
And
that a
when-
lot in the last month too. And
Yeah.
one of the things that came through, Natalie, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, was
Oh.
it takes a lot of humility to do that.
Mhm.
You know, I just saw a Facebook group in Bribie Island here, which is very small. Will's been here, 20,000 people. And someone said, where can I find a Thermomix consultant? And they're leaning in their groups to do that. And it was like, wow, you know, Thermomix has been around a while. But they wouldn't know who's here because this person probably just assumed that everybody knew what Thermomix is by now. And I think we're very similar in our culture in doTERRA, where we would assume that everybody knows, oh, well, everyone knows where to get a consultant and I don't need to worry about that. And that's a missed opportunity where you drop into humility and go, okay, how many samples would I be willing to drop off? Not how many can I do?
Yeah.
A very different question.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That willingness comes from humility and it's born out of humility. And like that page I was referring to, that is all about who do you want to serve? And to me, that's that element of humility that takes us to the place, you know, where we're willing to do things that we wouldn't normally do, where we're willing to get outside of our comfort zone again and again and again, right? We know the power of that. When is the times that we have the most joy in doTERRA? For me, it's when I'm out of my comfort zone. It's when I'm stretching. It's when I'm connecting with the people that I'm meant to serve. And that's really, as you clarify your purpose, that is going to happen. And you will connect with more and more of the right people. I love what you're saying, PJ, about bring down those barriers. We get brighter with our purpose and it reaches further and it reaches more people. And it reaches the ones that we are meant to reach. We don't have to use a megaphone. When we have clarity, we can open our mouth and we are heard. But we do what we can in the world to take down the barriers on Instagram, to take down the barriers with others, to be humble and open and bringing solutions. And that really takes us to our next point, which actually I wanted to share, on purpose. I found, as I thought more about it, it wasn't just the Hawaiians. These amazing Anabaptist groups. So there's
Mennonites.
the Mennonites that live in the Midwest. They kind of separate themselves from others and have their own community of just back to the earth. And they're really natural. And guess what they do? They lead with their purpose of being natural and relying on the earth, and how passionate they are about doing that and making that a reality for people and doing that in the very best way. How they are starting out their classes with, hey, we know that the plants, we know that these gifts of the earth are the most powerful. Why not have them in our homes and use them with our families in the most amazing way? So I love that. I love that. And I saw the same thing with the Russian community that we talked about, the specific community. They were taking care of their purpose. They knew their purpose and what was coming to them, prospects, enrollments, because they were sending a clear message and it was louder than all the other messages that are out there right now. So clarifying your purpose is going to bring that clarity and amplify your voice in the world and connect you to who you need to. Then you get to identify unmet needs. And this is such a simple concept, but how often do we skip over this? We think, oh, like you were saying, PJ, oh, they probably already know who the consultant is in the area. Instead of, hey, how can I help? You just moved in. What do you need? What's up for you? Let me know. I'm right here around the corner. And this is what I love and I'm into. And I can totally serve. If you love doTERRA or you would like to know more about doTERRA, I'm right here. I do these classes. I would love to serve in whatever way you and your family needs right now. Ask those questions, ask powerful questions, and listen for the answers. Andy, maybe this connects with, I was going to invite you to share a little bit of the insights that we got at corporate the other day, just with some of the numbers and what that says about unmet needs.
So some of you, I think PJ, you're one of them. You were around back when doTERRA was experiencing ridiculous growth. We had, 1,000%.
We've been so spoiled, right?
1,000% growth year over year, and then we had 500%, and it kept dwindling to the point where a lot of markets plateaued and some dropped down significantly
during these COVID seasons, right?
And before.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question, one of the things that we realized is that success is a terrible teacher, right? Mm-hmm. In those heyday of growth, you just put out on social media, I'm having a class on essential oils, and you had a room full of 15 people, and that doesn't happen anymore, mm-hmm. Especially in COVID. So
helps us really fine tune our skills, and not rely just on, I'm going to throw this out there.
So Natalie and I went to the corporate office to meet with some of the executive team, and Drew Wolfert, the CFO, he said, do you know when everything changed? And we're like, well, I think it was like 2015. He's like, yeah, that's right. And we're like, oh, so it was the FDA, right? He's like, nope, that's not that was not the turning point. It might've been a lead indicator, but it was not the actual, that's not the cause of the downturn in growth. And so I scratched my head for a while, and then Sarah Marie popped in and she said, it's actually when we created the new account type of wholesale customer. And, back in the day, we enrolled everybody as a wellness advocate. We called it IPC at the time, but a wellness advocate was, it was the default. I mean, we literally signed up 98% mm-hmm. of everyone as a wellness advocate. And guess what happens when people join as a wellness advocate? Ultimately, everyone shares in some form eventually. And so if you're happily using, and then you just, you start telling your sister or your cousin or your neighbor about how great the oils are, eventually it's not too long before one of them enrolls. And guess what? Something very magical happens that doesn't happen to customers. You get a little fast start check. Mm-hmm. And that fast start check, I did not appreciate the power of that little event, because when someone gets that check, it gets their attention. It might not be a lot of money. It might be a fast start check for $20, $25, nothing big. But all of a sudden they say, oh my gosh, that was pretty easy to share something that I love. And so I'm going to keep sharing. So guess what happens when you go from enrolling 95% of the field as account types that could earn commissions, and now you switch that to maybe 20%. Only 20% now enroll with that account type that can earn commissions. So accidental sharing doesn't happen like it does before. If somebody does share with a friend or a neighbor, it might end up on Amazon, or it might end up with another person. And so the pool of people who are sharing shrinks dramatically. And there's something that we all learned about since we're a small child, and it's a thing called compound interest. So compound interest works by hacking away day by day, making small incremental changes that have a massive long-term impact. Well, guess what happened in 2015? When we moved away from this account type, there was a negative compound effect on the growth of the company. So what we didn't realize is that these accidental sharers, these quasi builders, are actually the backbone of the company. If you were to add up all of the enrollments, the vast majority happen by little sharers, not by the top leaders. You know, we recognize the top enrollers in the company. We don't recognize the millions of casual sharers. And so they were the heroes. And overnight, we pulled the rug out from under them. And we also added a level of complexity. And so it used to be really easy to look at your back office and everyone was an IPC, a wellness advocate. Now you have two account types. And so just that one simple addition of complexity actually added up to a huge difference. It made it that much harder to duplicate, that much harder to teach, that much harder to really empower your team so they could understand what's happening in their back office and move forward in a powerful, meaningful way. So this is the statistic that Drew Wolfert showed to us on the slide. Before 2015, for the 7 years that doTERRA had been around, before 2015, 1 in 5 customers turned into a sharer, 1 in 5. So that's 20% of the entire company. Accidentally started sharing, accidentally got a check, and probably kept going. Well, guess what it's been ever since 2015? 1 in 19. So 1 in 19 is like, what was that, 4%? So we went from 20% down to 4%. Now, anyone who knows the power of compound interest, start doing the math on when you go from filling a bucket, at 20 times the speed down to 4 times the speed, right? It doesn't take long for that to have a massive long-term effect on your business. So anyways, I'll let you decide how to interpret those statistics. But for me personally, my jaw was on the ground. I couldn't believe what a small, simple thing has made such a huge difference in our doTERRA business. And
to me, it was so powerful because all of a sudden we could understand. We were like, oh, I knew it was the power of the sharer, but I didn't really understand the significance of that. And when I know that, when I know what we're talking about, then I can bring that back alive for people, right? Because we know that we're living in this world, we get to operate by that, right? Just like PJ was saying in the text, like, yep, Herbalife shows up like this. So we get to conform and we get to make sure and keep doTERRA a safe place for all of us to grow for a lifetime and beyond. And so I'm grateful that doTERRA did what they did to keep this a great, safe place for us to keep growing. And I'm grateful to know where the power comes from so I can continue to meet those needs. If before 1 in 5 was sharing and now 1 in 19 is sharing,
Mhm.
that tells me that there are more people with the potential to share that I am overlooking, that I'm not even talking about that possibility of sharing, that I have shut down my mind on wholesale customers and I just need to keep them in that box, and I need to go on and focus on these wellness advocates and developing leaders, and hopefully that'll do it with just that 4% over there, right? Instead of keeping my mind open and keep sharing and dripping about the joy that comes along when you share with someone and you change their life, and taking a big fat highlighter around those miracle moments when sharing makes a difference. And when someone's simple, like they just did one little thing.
Mhm.
I got a card the other day from this woman, and it was literally something that maybe took me 2 to 5 minutes. It was not huge, right? But she wrote about the change that it made in her life and her home and her family. And I was in awe, right? This is the power of doTERRA. And we get to capitalize on, we get to leverage more that place of sharing and the power of sharing. And I know there are millions of ways that we can do this better, right? And that we can dial in to meeting that need in our specific team, that you can be inspired on doing that, right? That, you know, that Will and his team is inspired on how to bring that alive in Australia and New Zealand, and helping that live in this market. And you will be inspired in your specific stewardship of your team and what you can do to inspire that, right? The sharing without us taking that highlighter on every team call, on a Facebook page, on a live, on a reel, it just doesn't happen. It gets overlooked. The recognition of this rank or this big leader or this big amazing trip hits, but we miss the power of the sharing. And like you're saying, Dee, that's the compound interest of it all. That's where the magic happens, that all starts adding up, right? And I didn't realize how small, you know, it was just like such a small thing. I didn't really feel it. I hadn't dialed in on it. But with that statistic, it was so helpful for me to just, okay, here we go. What can we do? And what will make the biggest difference there?
So if you want to know the net impact, I think doTERRA used to average around 130,000 new enrollments every month. Since 2015, our numbers are now currently around 30,000 per month. So that's the net impact of,
Is that US market?
that's
What are you
global, was my understanding, but I could be off. Don't
Okay.
quote me on those numbers, but that's based on the
We're
stats
sharing
that I
a
looked at.
sense.
That's what I was looking at.
Mhm.
So and that would correlate with the number of the level of sales growth and the number of rank advancements.
Mhm.
So
So the question to me is, how can we
Yes.
turn up the sharing, highlight the sharing? And I mean, and maybe that's part of turning up the sharing, right? Is highlighting it.
can I just throw out there,
Mhm.
my first reaction was, you know, doTERRA needs to get rid of the customer account type. But then I realized, wait a minute, is somebody holding a gun to my head and making me sign people up, my people up as customers? No, like I can choose. So that, to me, that's one of the simple choices too, is it's okay to go back to the way we were doing things and enroll people as wellness advocates. Let that happy accident happen of them getting a check when they share.
Mhm.
You know, nothing wrong with that.
Share the power and the joy of sharing so that they'll want to choose into that
Yeah.
too. I think we oftentimes just go the path of least resistance, which maybe that's been that wholesale customer path. And if we'll just take a little bit more time, if whether it's in the enrollment process or down the road, you'll know what's best for you and your teams. But boy, that has been super enlightening to us.
A couple of our teams that are growing the fastest, we've intentionally created this culture of sharing. And a lot of our investment into those teams has been around incentivizing hosting. And so that's been very intentional for us. And during this tough period in the US, we've popped 2 new diamonds, a couple of golds. They've gone from 0 to like 150,000 a month in volume. And so this culture of sharing, I believe, is the key to getting our growth back. It's really, I think it's the elephant in the room that we didn't know was there.
Yeah, so often. How many times on Zoom classes are we thinking about booking the next Zoom class, right? That was just not, I don't think that was built into our Zoom class protocol, right? So these leaders that are duplicating and their leaders are growing, one of the things they're focusing on is, how can I book classes from this? And they will send out a keychain to anybody that writes, I want to do a class, in the chat. And those people commit to how many people they want to have there. And then they'll fill up those little dram bottles with as many people as they commit to having at the event. So have they lost some money sharing those keychains and filling up bottles with 10 to 15 drops of the basic oils? Absolutely. They've invested in that. Do you think that has come back to them tenfold? Absolutely, it has. And that's really, really powerful to be focused on that, to add that into our intention of, how can I help these people? How can I open it up? Where's my path to sharing? And how do they get on that path is really powerful. And we know we are sharing this in a general sense, again, because we know that you will be inspired on what to do in your specific realm, right? Because Kim, yep, there's challenges there. And it makes it more challenging for people in New Zealand to want to share. And man, even if tax-wise, it's a crazy thing. How do we open it up so they're sharing anyway? How can we give back in a way? Can we give a gift card when they share if they want to stay a wholesale customer and we find a way to give back to them? Can we give them a free oil that they've been wanting or something like that, that just helps them, that's a way of highlighting. So I'm confident that each of you can know how to inspire sharing within your team more and more. But that was one of the biggest unmet needs that I just wasn't aware of, that I was completely blindsided by. And as it came up, I was like, oh, I knew that. That's why we're doing such big book a class incentives with those keychains and investing there. Oh, wow. Yep. See, so you got to figure it out. You got to navigate. This is part of recalibrating. And it's challenging. How will we work with that? How will we work around that? How can you serve them still? Right? Is it those gift cards? Is it the gift cards in New Zealand and they don't need to bring in that income until they're ready to, completely transition and they want it for a business? What can you do? Again, there's infinite possibilities. You're a limitless creator and you will know what to do. You know about your specific people. So think of those things, navigate them, right? Andy, one of my favorite quotes from you is, you can have excuses or you can have results, but you can't have both. So friends, during this time, we can have excuses or we can have results, but we can't have both. If you want to have results, we have to give up the excuses, and we have to be creative enough and open enough and curious enough to discover the solutions, because there are solutions no matter where you live. I mean, I did a call with Russia the other day. They're dealing with all kinds of things, right? Russians in the US, Russians in Russia, Ukrainians that live in Russia that were on the call. I mean, they're dealing with, how many excuses do they have? They have a million excuses. But what do they choose? They choose light. They choose to take what they've been given right then in that moment and share it to bless people. And then that is multiplied and multiplied. I love that. Good call, seeing other ways for that to go out, Leslie. Love it, love it. So, you know, what did the Hawaiians see? That there was a need, there was an unmet need that they needed to hit. They saw, okay, these people don't really know enough to value the oils yet, but they do value natural toothpaste. So they used that natural toothpaste as their add-on to that first order. So they made the unmet needs and they increased their close rate, right? They wanted to make sure that they had that first LRP. They also knew that if people didn't know how to use their oils, they wouldn't be ordering very much longer. So they gave that oil book or app, reimbursement for an app, for that first LRP order. So whatever it is that the need is, we can work with that. We can be aware of those unmet needs and then come forward to meet them. We are solutions providers. And the bigger that we can provide solutions for, that doesn't mean I have to make somebody else's life perfect. I'm just here to learn to, how can I lower those barriers from them to me, right? So that we can connect and we can get these powerful tools in their home and in their life. Like, I'm committed to do that, and I will do whatever it takes to do that. Number 3, any questions on that as we kind of take that forward? Any other thoughts? You guys want to?
I just want to
chat
say,
that?
I swear I was in that meeting with you, brother. I swear. I was walking along, minding my own business, and there was this massive epiphany going, what went wrong? And not so much that it went wrong, it went fine, but what
changed?
You know, where did it all? And I went, it was the wholesale customer. And I think what happened is, which businesses can do, we overcomplicate things. You know, I put up a thing in the Diamonds Mastermind. Ego does that. We want to get in and we want to overcomplicate it. And it was done with love. It was done with, let's protect the wellness advocates, Genevieve. So you're aware this is just what happened. And Greg Cook had great justification. We all saw it. We didn't want to be Herbalife statistics. We wanted to be sustainable through regulatory nonsense. And that was the secret to success, was to prove that we didn't force them by accident into a business that they didn't want. And that's what's happened. But we don't have to, we can't change circumstances, we can't change regulations, but we can change culture. And that whole, well, should I be a wellness advocate or should I be a customer? If you're going to go, just start as a customer, then you're not really interested in results and ranking. That's okay. That might be your goal. But if you're genuine about helping people get an income right now that could mean an income stream, just use that word. Hey, you know, you can choose customer if you want, but if you're genuine about an income stream, I can help you with that later on. Not now, don't talk classes now. Do it one-on-one and just say, I think the Wellness Advocate gives you the most flexible options which is not a lie. That's the truth.
Mhm.
And later
Mhm.
on, if you find that this isn't what you really want, you can always downgrade.
Mhm. Yep.
Totally.
And if husband goes, ew, no thanks, this is network marketing. Yes, it is network marketing, admit it, but it's not like you know. But if husband is nervous, start green and we'll upgrade you to purple later on when he relaxes and can see that deep blue does actually work.
Mhm. Totally.
Yeah, we can do it in whatever fashion best meets their needs. I love that. And that language is so right on. So right on. And we can
Also-
meet them where they're at
Yeah.
to meet those needs and then roll down the road.
And New Zealand, go enroll Canada, go enroll France, go enroll Switzerland, Denmark, Sweden, New York. That's what I did. Australians closed down and it's actually US enrollment. So it's kept me alive. And not by,
Mhm.
it wasn't designed. I didn't go out looking for them. But those are the people who resonated strongly with my message and they jumped on board. So you can enroll outside of your own country.
That is
Wow.
one of the greatest gifts for us. It's just seeing that we all have a global seamless business, each of us right here on this call. And I remember when I felt like I only knew people in my own backyard or my own little community. Well, that changes pretty fast, right? With our online communities. And it opens up a whole new world. So as you dial in to that target market, you can connect with people so far beyond your little community and neighborhood. I love that. Thank you for that awareness. Yes, enrolling globally is so big. We've talked to so many others that have operated in other companies and they had different, oh, I have to maintain this company in another country and I have to do this or
Mhm.
do that, when all of that doTERRA just makes it seamless, which is so powerful. So I want to get back to point number 3. Which is create focus and attention. So once we understand those unmet needs and we have identified them, then if we can create focus and attention, it's just like often, I mean, how many of you, I have this cute 6-year-old son that he just came in here, not too long ago. We're running out. And if I will create focus and attention, he will do anything. But if I don't take the time or energy, he doesn't know which way to go. There's too many fun things to grab his attention. And that's where we are in the world today. There's lots of loud noises. And I think it's so powerful that we can create that focus so people can see. Again, on the account type, it was like, oh, once we get multiple options, the confused mind can say no, right? So how can we create more focus and more clarity and more attention to what will really serve them and help them connect to that? So as you get clear on your purpose and identify those unmet needs, then you grab that highlighter and you create that focus and attention on something, just like they did with the keychain for booking classes, right? You decide what to focus on, what to bring energy to. And I think that can be a game changer. So these are the questions that we talked about. What is new and needed? What do they need right now? What is new? What is needed? What are people really yearning for? And how can I draw them in? Andy, remember when you went to that training that helped? I mean, it was a several $1,000 training, and it was how to put together a course to draw people in. And the main thing they started with was an engaging question. And I think so much of the time we have all of our statements and we're blabbing out into the world, but sometimes creating focus and attention is just asking a question and being still. So like an example of that is, again, feeling upheaval in the world right now. Are you ready to feel more peace amidst whatever storm is happening around you? Question mark. Ready for more wholeness and more energy right now? Ready to feel lighter emotionally? What is it that you find out as you dial into your purpose and who you're seeking to serve? And then use that engaging question to bring them in. And that's the way you start your marketing. That's the questions you're posting, and you're mixing it up as you're feeling like, oh, I'm recalibrating, feels like the need is here or there. And you're putting incentives and attention around those things. How will you incentivize sharing behavior? How will you incentivize that? Sometimes it's just acknowledging or recognition. Sometimes it is stuff or something. Sometimes it's just a quick thank you text. I'm so proud of you. Way to rock this. So yeah, books, whatever it is that your people need, you will know that. So we've given lots of ideas on that. I want to have a chance for you guys to talk, but those are top 3 on recalibrating. Clarify your purpose, identify unmet needs, and then bring focus and attention to what is going to bring the growth. And if you don't feel confident enough to know right now, trust the statistics, trust that sharing, inspire that sharing around you and in your team. And you get your message clearer so you can connect with those people that are waiting for you. What questions? Ooh, I love that. Send vouchers for Kindle purchases. That's what we have been.
Apps, Kindle. You don't have to pay for shipping if you go digital.
Yep. If they have an Apple, we'll give a little Apple gift card and send a screenshot of the code. And you can do that without getting there's no taxation. They're not bringing any income in or anything like that, right? We're doing gifts. Focus on that. What are your questions?
What are your
Go ahead.
products at the moment? You guys produce this one?
Yes.
It's amazing.
Oh,
This
you're
is
so kind.
This is $60 here, just so you know. I mean, look at the size of it. It's not
That's why we are so grateful for apps, because
Yeah.
some of the logistics around the world right now.
Yeah. I couldn't
we wish we
resist
could
because
send
it's
it.
been a powerful tool and I refuse to not have it. But if you're starting out, it's a big ask. So
Yeah.
where should we go to look at your material? Because I'd love to sort of recalibrate there with some
So
incentive.
Essential Emotions, well, in terms of the emotions content, it's all at essentialemotions.com.
Mhm.
So that's where we link out to the app. It's where we link out to all the international websites. And so we had that book translated into 14 languages. And so it's being offered in lots of different markets. And so, the folks in Germany don't need to buy from US. They can buy from a Europe-based store.
Yeah.
So yeah, essentialemotions.com.
And we totally hear you. That's the thing that I give for the second month is the Essential Emotions book, right? But anyone that isn't near me or is far away, I'm giving the app, the Essential Emotions app, that then they can use in whatever language, in any of those 13 languages, because there are limitations around the world. Chile just opened 2 days ago, and boy, do I want to help those people there, and my friends in Mexico, and the Russians, right? What did we talk about on their call? They're like, what do we do? How do we help these people? And we were like, go there. And there are incredible, because we have these amazing bottles and what's inside of them, then these other tools are meaningful and they can help people and they can guide people. Without the bottles, we do not have anything. We might have some tools, you can have some questions, but the power comes when we let the oils lead and do the heavy lifting. So we get to help people connect with both. But so grateful, and everyone needs to know the power of these oils and these products and how they've changed your life, or how they will change your life, and how they'll change their life, right? And whatever you do to help teach them that and how it will open it up, it will be worthy of your time and energy, because you're changing a life and they'll never go back. We like to call the book an emotions coach in a book, right? Or in an app, because we all need that right now. I mean, they're talking about this, the epidemic now, right? The endemic following the pandemic. So addressing those emotions, helping people know how to do that is everyone's unmet need, I feel like, right now.
One of the points that I failed to mention, the reason that that statistic has such a compounding interest in the negative is because every time you eliminate a sharer, you've eliminated somebody who's contributing to that customer base who could become another sharer. And so that's why it keeps dwindling and dwindling over time, because when we had all those accidental sharers, they were not just sustaining the base, they were building the base. And so the base of customers, you know, the top of the funnel was growing, but then over time, the top of the funnel has shrunk to about a fourth the size. And so it didn't matter, even if you had 100% converting of the users, you still couldn't catch up to the 20% that were converting before. So that's why the compounding interest principle is so applicable to what we're talking about. And I love what somebody was saying earlier. You know, so many of us shifted our focus to finding the next builder. There are whole programs built on, you know, how to find your next builder, find your, you know, join this program to find your next builder. Well, what if the best thing you could ever do was never find another builder? What if all you did for the rest of your life was just find sharer after sharer after sharer, right?
Mhm.
Through your customer base. That would be the best thing that could happen to any of us, in my opinion.
And of course, we want both,
Sure.
not one or the other.
Sure.
But what you're saying is there's power in the sharer,
Yeah.
and we need to open up to that power and possibility in a whole new way.
Yep. So we'd love to answer any questions if you've got any. I know we're past the hour, but we're here to serve.
What else is coming up for you? Any blocks that come up as we share this, or you think about implementing it? Now's the time. Or you can just put in the chat, hey, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm ready to do. That's what we want to see from you. What are you feeling inspired to do in your stewardship, in your team?
Natalie, can I just say something?
Yeah, go for it.
Natalie, hi, love. Thank you for that. It was absolutely fantastic and so on track. I'm doing this beautiful course with this girl I've met on my journey called Conscious Creators, and I just love the way she puts it. She's actually in her late 30s, but through her own journey, she's a nutritionist and done Bachelor of Sports Science, and also studied the body and health and nutrition. But I've got a post that she's done today that made me think, oh my God, what you have said, it's almost like you've written what she said or she's written what you've said. Because she said on it's a membership she's got, that we need to know what we want to ask for, because if we don't know what we want, she explained it like the courier is going to come, but they won't leave the package because you're not expecting it, so they'll go away again. So she's got us to actually just write things down. Like one of the things when we started was testing your intuition. Just write things down. It could be that a yellow car or a feather or something like that. So write down 5 things, write it down, put it aside and forget it. And then when it shows up, how do you actually feel? How does it make you feel? And I remember seeing a yellow car and I just wanted to jump and show the world. It didn't show up straight away, but it will show up at some stage, which is really amazing. And she's written here that it can be a challenge to let go of the old way of doing things. But if things are stagnant, frustrating, or a lack of clarity at the moment, you're in the hallway of life for a reason, waiting for the next nudge to follow. So I think that it was really beautiful because, you know, in The Secret, they say, ask, believe, and receive. And I just, yeah, I think we need to write down, and there was a beautiful one the other day, I'm not sure, Will, what if it was on one of our calls, it said do life and add oils. And I think in New Zealand, I'm seeing a lot of people have lost confidence in going out because we're stuck at home. Depending on your choices and that in life, we can't go anywhere. So we need to, people love being around people, but we need to let them see that it's safe in the environment and you can have fun again.
Wow. Wow. I
Mm.
love what you brought up. That was so powerful. And
So when you
aligned.
clarify purpose and identify unmet needs and create focus and attention, it just aligned. Yeah.
Yes. I love what you were saying of just asking yourself more of what you want, right? So you know that package that you want to receive. And that's what you do as you clarify the purpose again, whether you're going into this, you're going back to your goals and why you're doing what you're doing, then you know what you want more of. But I found that we needed to talk about or write down, what do I want more of in my doTERRA business right now? And I needed to keep asking that and going there with it, because it's life, it's business, right? There's going to be these little things that we don't want more of that start coming our way. And if we start focusing there, what are we going to get more of? All of that, the difficulty, the challenges, the No, focus in on what you want to get more of and ask yourself that. Oh, ask, believe, receive. Powerful. Love it. Love it. Love it. Caroline says, I'm a bit confused about how to do point 3, which was the create attention and focus. And, you know, Tracy, I love what you're saying about getting clear. And I think creating focus and attention means that we highlight the behaviors that we want to see more of on calls, on Zooms, on posts. I think it means that we have incentives that are based around that. We're talking about that. We're sharing stories about that. That's what creating focus and attention looks like. And it looks like doing it not just once, it looks like doing it over and over again. You may feel like you're beating it, but people need to hear that drum beat. And they need to see it and hear it over and over again. Great question. Great question. Anything else? Thank you so much. So good to be with you. We love y'all.
Thank you very much, Natalie and Andy. We really appreciate your time today as well. You know, I always get so much out of these. Okay, I really do here, and I've just got pages of notes here that I take because you know there's always such great information being shared. Okay, and I agree. Clarify your purpose, identify those unmet needs, create focus and attention, but really don't be afraid of sharing. Okay. Don't be afraid of the power of sharing. Come to that power of sharing. Don't miss out on that opportunity, you know, because it really is an opportunity. Okay. And I just really want to reiterate that as well, kind of nail that down because you guys did such a wonderful job with sharing it. So we'll close up unless anybody has any further questions for Natalie and Andy. We'll close up, and I really appreciate all of your time today. Thank you very much,
for
everybody.
having us.
We love you guys. Hey, we're so excited. Next month, we're going to start out asking what's shifted in your business, right? What did you invite in? Where did your sharing go on your team? And we're so excited to just hear that because as a limitless creator, you're calling it in, you're bringing it in, and we're so excited to hear where it goes.
I just had a great idea. Sorry, ideation
Yeah.
number 2. You could incentivize people who switch from green to purple.
Mm-hmm.
Just that.
Totally.
Nothing more.
What's that?
Yep.
Just change the greens to purples. If you make that your focus over the next 3 months, you're going to have accidental sharers again.
Yep.
I don't know, we
That's
could do
right.
that with incentives or samples or
Oh,
toothpaste,
I
maybe
love that.
a butt of toothpaste hanging around, or some of the little sample kits from what's that? Spoil Yourself. You know, you have the little toothpaste and the
Yep.
shampoo
Yes.
and the conditioner, and they're still customers and they're bleating over the fact that they've got too many lemons. They don't understand that
Mhm.
shampoo and skincare and all the other things. And maybe you can incentivize that I'm going to do that. What a good idea.
That's a great idea. Those little sample packs, we find that whatever we invest in those, we're getting back in spades because it's such a great exposure for them to be exposed to some more doTERRA products. They fall in love with it every time. It always works. But do they need, clarify for us, Will, do they need to enroll someone with 100 PV to change or to upgrade accounts?
From, you mean from customer to wellness advocate?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, they will need to have that as part of the next order. Okay.
So they enroll someone in order to switch account types. Do they need to enroll somebody?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So maybe it's doing an incentive around that, right? Have you wanted to share with someone? Do you feel like you could make a difference in someone else's life like doTERRA has made in yours? We want to give back to you for making a difference. So share with someone and receive this, right? So we can do it whatever way you need to do it in your team. I love it. Great insights. And we're excited to see. Let's chat about that next month. Take it. You guys are inspired.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks,
Mhm.
everybody. We really appreciate it.